Evening all, Marcus here, back again with another video, back again with another Oculus Go video. Now it's coming up to Christmas time. It's going to be the first Christmas since the Oculus Go was released in May, so there'll be a lot of new people out there who are considering getting an Oculus Go as a gift for Christmas. So in this video I want to kind of recap and kind of bring together all the information on my channel about what the Oculus Go is, what it isn't, compare it to kind of its competitors, compare it to kind of things that are coming soon, go over kind of setting it up, what other accessories you can get for it, what are some of the good apps and games to kind of maybe pre-install on it, and kind of give you that kind of all the information that you need to make an educated purchase and sort of make sure that this is right for the person that you're buying it for. So stay tuned and we'll crack on and go over the Oculus Go. So what is the Oculus Go? The Oculus Go is a VR headset, but unlike a lot of other VR headsets you get out there, like the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive, you do not need a PC to be able to use it. You do not need a phone to put inside it, like the Gear VR, and it's all self-contained. So in this one headset, you have the lenses, you have inside already built in a screen, you have 32 gigabytes of memory in the standard version, which costs $199 or pounds, or you can double that to 64 gigabytes for $249 or pounds. Now, should you go for the 32 gig or 64 gig version? Well, I think that kind of depends. I think the 32 gig version is fine for the vast majority of people, but if you can afford the slightly larger one, I would suggest going for that, just because it just saves you having to remove apps and games and stuff off the headset when you're using it. If you do run out of room, it just takes a long time to run out of room. I'd say if somebody's going to use this kind of literally on the go, out and about, it's probably quite nice to have that extra bit of storage. But the smaller storage, if you're indoors, you have Wi-Fi connection, you can easily quickly download and re-download stuff. The vast majority of games and apps are quite small. The video ones tend to be a little bit bigger because, you know, video files themselves just tend to be quite big. But in general, I think the 32 gig version is fine for most people. And then what you probably do is put the $50 or £50 towards accessories and experiences for the Oculus Go instead. Bargain. The headset does have speakers built in. They come down the head straps at the side there. They come out there and that side. It does have an audio jack, so you can plug in headphones, and it has the charging port just there, USB for data transfer as well. It has its volume rocker on the top, so you can kind of control the volume, and then the power on and off button there. It has a sensor inside the headset that knows when you put the headset on and off, so it turns on when you put it on and turns off when you take it off. Nice and handy. And then at the top it's got this kind of elasticated strap which you kind of tighten with the Velcro on the side and Velcro on the top, and it goes on your head like so. It comes with one little controller like this, goes in your hand like this, and you can pull the trigger with your trigger finger. It has a little touchpad on the top, it has a back button and an Oculus button, and if you pull the handle apart here, it comes with one AA battery, which you can obviously replace yourself as and when needed to keep it charged up. The little strap attaches nice and easily, put that on your wrist, so when you are playing games and flailing around, it doesn't matter if you let go. Wow. Using your controller with your Oculus Go, you'll be able to put this headset on, and the screens inside will obviously come through the lenses and give you that sort of 3D virtual reality experience. Bear in mind this is a mobile platform, so it's all self-contained, no wires on it, it's got its own battery built in, and given that it doesn't connect to a PC like the other VR headsets, it's not as powerful, so the games you get on it won't look as good, they won't control as well. You know, it won't have two controllers, it only has the one. And it's got what's called 3 degrees of freedom. So rather than sort of being able to move around and duck and walk around the room and reach out and grab things, you're more kind of like a stationary camera looking around. So it's almost like you're sort of a floating head looking around. That's kind of your control, you can't lean forward. And your controller is set in place as well, so it's almost more like a pointer. Now that doesn't mean in games and apps you can't move around, it just means you have to kind of control yourself to move yourself back and forward and that sort of thing. But a lot of the experiences on the Oculus Go are more for sitting down, relaxing, more of an introduction to VR. So who is the Oculus Go aimed at? It's aimed at everyone. But I think so the kind of two main sort of categories of people that it's aimed at is sort of those more tech-friendly people in your family, so that maybe the younger generation, or sort of young adults, or middle-aged adults like myself, and those that kind of want to get into VR but maybe don't have a PC to run the full VR, don't have the space to run the full VR. This is a great introduction and kind of gets you the kind of first steps into it. The second category of people it's probably good for is those other members of your family where you can potentially help support them in using it. So you can help set it up, you can get it all ready for them and help guide them to use it. So for the older generation, for example, maybe they're less mobile, maybe they're less active, they don't get out as much these days, this headset would be great. They'd be able to put this headset on and kind of experience things all around the world, feel like they're in different places, look around, interact with things, and opens up a whole new world to a lot of people that can't get out as much. Now, I'm not saying that's the only two categories of people this apply to, but I think over the Christmas period, that's probably the two categories of people that it's going to be aimed at. So people who are tech friendly and you just want a nice present, $200 is kind of a nice price point, and those are maybe kind of limited in movement, maybe don't get out that much, can kind of experience kind of a lot of things externally without actually even leaving the house. Especially over the Christmas period, it's going to be great fun to have one of these headsets in your house, sharing these experiences and that sort of thing. So here's the box that you get the Oculus Go in. The 32 and 64 gig version is exactly the same. So it's a nice kind of convenient parcel to wrap up and put under a tree. It does come with the headset, the controller, it comes with a glasses spacer. What that essentially means is that it kind of pulls the headset away from the lenses a little bit, so people who have glasses where you won't scratch the lenses, but most people seem to be fine without it anyway. It comes with a little lanyardy sort of hand strap for the controller. It comes with a little lens wipe as well, so what you've got to be careful of is when looking after your Oculus Go is that you only ever use those lens wipes, which is just like a little fabric cloth, like microfiber cloth to wipe the lenses, just to make sure they're nice and clean, because if you've got fingerprints or on them or anything like that, it can kind of affect kind of the use of it. It also comes with a micro USB power cable. In the UK it doesn't come with a charger brick, but any sort of USB sort of charger brick will be fine. In the US and a lot of other countries you do get the charging brick with it, so it depends whether you need to buy one of those separately, depends on when the person has it. Most people have a charging brick for their phone or something already. You can use those ones absolutely fine with your Oculus Go. Let's quickly discuss the alternatives to the Oculus Go. You've got the Oculus Rift, which is the daddy of this one. It costs twice as much, so $400 or £400, and you do need a PC to go with it. So you need a reasonably powerful PC to go with it, so you're talking the best part of $1,000, once you kind of factor all that in. But if somebody already has a PC and they have the space, because if you have an Oculus Rift, you need to set up sensors that go around the room that kind of look at the headset and track it, whereas the Oculus Go doesn't need any sensors, doesn't need anything external. You don't move around that much. You don't need as much space to use it. But if you do have the space and somebody has a PC already, then it might be worth getting the Oculus Rift. The games and experiences on there will be better, higher resolution, more interactive, and they come with two controllers where you can reach out and move around. The same goes for the HTC Vive. That costs a little bit more. That costs anything up to $700, $800, $900, depending on which version you go for. But once again, that's the same with sensors, with two controllers, and you need a PC to go with it. There's Windows Mixed Reality. They go for about the same price as these headsets. So there's some HP, there's some Lenovo versions, and they don't need sensors. So they usually have little cameras on them that do the tracking. But you still wire it to your PC, so you still need a decent PC, but the headset themselves is about the same price as an Oculus Go, and they do run the same experiences as a lot of the Rift and the HTC Vive ones, so that might be an option. That's quite a good option if you don't have much room to kind of put sensors up and that sort of thing. There are a few other standalone headsets. There's the HTC Vive Focus, which is HTC's version of the Oculus Go, but it does cost a lot more, 3 times the price as the Oculus Go, but it does have tracking, so you can move your headset around. Your controller is still kind of more of a pointer, and they are looking to bring out sort of more motion control sort of controllers, which are called 6 degrees of freedom, but you get 6 degrees of freedom, so that's sort of moving around with the headset. But as I say, it costs a lot more. Coming out in spring next year is the Oculus Quest. So the Oculus Quest sits between the Oculus Go and the Oculus Rift. The Oculus Go being a standalone headset that is 3 degrees of freedom, so you kind of, as I say, looking around. The Oculus Quest is going to be double the price, so starts at $400 or £400, and it does have tracking, so it has the cameras on it to help it track where it's moving, and it'll have 2 controllers so you can move around and interact that way as well. It's still going to run very much on sort of mobile processors, so the quality of the games and the experiences won't be at the level of the Oculus Rift. So if you want sort of the top end high quality sort of games and experiences. That's still where it's going to be, but they're going to adapt a lot of those experiences down to the Oculus Quest itself, and you don't need a PC, so you're sort of wires free. If you're a bit more limited on space, that's probably the one to go for. But as I say, it's going to be double the price of this, and it's not going to be out until at least March, April, May time maybe, so you're still waiting a good few months for it. So it's not something you want to buy for Christmas, but if somebody's umming and ahhing between the two, you think they might prefer the Quest instead, you maybe want to hold off on the Go for now and get them a different present for Christmas. But for people who like to sit down on their bum, like to watch media, so Netflix or YouTube or anything like that, this headset is perfect. It's aimed at media. The Oculus Quest is aimed at games, the Rift is aimed at games, whereas the Oculus Go is aimed at consuming media. So that 360-degree videos where you can look all around, that works in this. 180-degree videos where you just look forward and it's in 3D, that works on this. YouTube, Netflix, all those programs, they work on this. So there's a lot of options for kind of just enjoying media. There are so many apps for media experiences on the Oculus Go. Don't get me wrong, there are games on the Oculus Go, so don't think there aren't, but they're more kind of mobile level. They're not sort of the full-on graphical quality of some of the stuff that you get on the Oculus Rift or the Vive. But they're still very good quality. I mean, they're kind of pared down in graphics, but they still control very well, a lot of fun, and more kind of a bit of a distraction. The prices tend to be a lot cheaper as well, whereas your average game on your Oculus Rift might be anything between $10, $30, maybe $40. On the Oculus Go, they rarely go over $10. Most of them are more around the sort of $3, $4 mark. If not, a lot of them are free. So let's say you're going to get an Oculus Go, and I would say that's a good choice. I've had mine since May. I got it literally the first day it came out, and I've used it pretty much every single day since. And as you can probably see by looking at my channel, I've done a metric ton of videos on it. So the content is endless, it keeps getting updated, they keep adding new stuff. Maybe you went for the 32 gig version and you've got 50 quid to spend. Well, let's go through some of the accessories and that you can get for your Oculus Go to keep it safe, to add functionality, to extend the battery life. And I'll quickly run through kind of the pros and cons of all those sort of things. Maybe some of them will be nice little stocking fillers to go along with your brand new device. Right, so you've got your Oculus Go. As I say, you do get audio through the headbands here. So there are sort of speakers built into the side here, and they come out of these little sort of slits you can see either side of the headset. Now, it doesn't have an audio jack, so what you can then do, as I probably suggest, get yourself a nice set of headphones. Now, these are my personal favourite sort of gaming ones. These are the HyperX Cloud gaming headset, but I do like it. The microphone doesn't work plugged in, but it does have a 3.5mm jack, so it just works inside your headset, and you can wear that at the same time as playing. It's not annoying anyone, you know, perfect. I mean, it works with any headset. It's not just those big ones. You can get any sorts, but I would recommend a nice headset to go with it. One of the other things that's probably quite useful is something like this. It comes with the charging cable in the box, as I say, but this is a special one. So this is one, it's USB one side, the other side it plugs into the Oculus Go, like so. But the special thing about this is it's magnetic. So this is good, so you can kind of quickly and easily charge your Oculus Go whenever you need to. And there's no faffing and trying to put it in and breaking it, especially for the younger lot. I know they're terrible at breaking USB cords, and this would be perfect to be able to kind of, you know, keep that working, not breaking the port, not breaking your cables, all that sort of stuff. Now this is quite good as well, because if you've got this plugged into the wall, you can be using it at the same time as charging it, and then if you kind of pull away too hard, it just pulls away. It doesn't drag this off the shelf or wherever it is and doesn't damage your headset. But it's quite a good thing to get. They only cost about, what, $5, $10 on Amazon. One of those is definitely worth an investment. What you can also get yourself is a USB bank like this. I've got just a little small one here with this short little cable. This has about the same sort of battery capacity as the Oculus Go itself, so it's worth kind of getting. My camera's not going to decide to focus on that because, you know, it wants to focus on the stuff behind it. But there you go. So just a little sort of Vivatar, is it? Yeah, Vata even. And it can actually, because I'll put a little bit of Velcro on here, it actually sticks on the Oculus Go headset itself there. Yeah, it's reasonably secure, and then you can just plug that straight in and it gives you double the battery time. If you want, you can go for a beefier power bank, and I've got one here. So this one runs you, that one runs you about sort of $8 maybe, sort of $5. This one's more like $25, $30, but Anchor one, I recommend these ones. But obviously what you probably don't want to do is attach this to your Oculus Go. I do know some people may potentially attach them to the back of their headset and strap it on, but that's probably a bit extreme. But if you're sitting down, you could easily pop this in your pocket, run the cable to your Oculus Go, and be running for 7 or 8 times the time with this. And with that in mind, getting yourself a nice long micro USB cable might be an option as well. I do have some 3-meter long ones that I use for certain things, and that gives me a lot of flexibility to be able to move around, so that's another option worth considering. Another thing worth considering, and this is maybe for those that are a bit more technically minded, is you can get sort of a lens protector which goes in sort of to protect the lenses like that, and you can put your little controller in here. But this has to be 3D printed. You can't buy these from the shop, so I'll leave details down below on where you can get this 3D printed. You can do it all online, and you have to do a little bit of DIY yourself before it comes back through, and do a little bit of sanding maybe to make it look good. But this is definitely worth it. I'm surprised they don't actually make these officially yet, but that's a good little protector, because then what that does is then just protects everything. Because one of the things you've got to be aware of is the lenses are very sensitive. You don't want to be touching them or messing around with them, and you want to keep them away from the sun. So if the sun shines in these lenses, it can burn the screen. So be careful of that. So that's what this is good for. If you don't want to buy one of these, or you can't buy one of these or whatever, one of the other alternatives is to get yourself a case. This is the official Oculus Go case. It runs at £35, I think, what's that, $35, $40, $45, and it's quite nice. It's got a nice little soft insert there. It's got a little space at the front for your controller. There you go, I've got a controller in there already. A little space for your cable maybe, and then your headset just sits in there nice and snug, and it's nice and good for storing and keeping around and carrying around. Nice little zip. You can get much cheaper cases. I know a lot of other people have got some off Amazon that cost anything from just $10 to $15. They're just fine as well. It depends what you want to use it for. It depends if you want the official one or not. But even the $10, $15 ones are quite good. Anything just to kind of keep it safe. Another thing you might want to consider is a skin. So this is my other Oculus Go that I use on my channel more often. And I've ordered a custom skin. Now you can go to mightyskins.com and get one of these yourself. They cost about $30 overall once you get it shipped, and it's quite nice. It kind of adds a nice little sort of styling to it. They've got tons of designs on there already, so you don't need to go for this one, but you can upload your own files and create one, so you can create a very personalised gift for somebody if you wanted to. Another thing as well, I've put a Gear VR head strap on here, but you don't have to do that. But if you've got a Gear VR, you can play around with some other straps, but that's kind of a thing for another video. I've got another video on that if you want to have a look. But another thing that you can buy is a VR cover. So whereas the standard Oculus Go has this kind of spongy memory foam sort of face padding all the way around the outside, it kind of does absorb the sweat if you do sweat. But this one comes with a nice sort of pleathery sort of cover, which can kind of come off with Velcro to be rinsed or washed or dried or whatever you want to do. And you can wipe it, say with wipes or something as well, so depending on how the person is using it, if you're passing it around at family time. And that runs about $30 as well once you get in, so I'll put links to all these things down below. My last recommendation is a Bluetooth controller. So this is the Xbox One S Bluetooth controller, and you can tell it's Bluetooth version because this part around the Xbox logo is all one solid piece. If it's two separate pieces, like this bit will be black, that means it's the older style and it's not Bluetooth. But this will work with your Oculus Go, and it's probably the best sort of quality controller overall. Definitely recommended. But they run you about, what, 35 quid, 35, 40 $40. But you can get one of these, which is a games controller. Probably runs about half the price. It's Bluetooth as well, works just as good. And to be fair, I kind of like this for my Oculus Go because then I can keep this connected to my Xbox, and I just have this in the case with it if I ever need it, sort of thing. So this was quite nice as well. So this is a nice Bluetooth controller. There's various other Bluetooth controllers, but I recommend one of these two because I know they work and I use them all the time. And as I say, I'll leave links to all these things down below. So let's move on to now setting up the Oculus Go. So when you get the Oculus Go, if you wanted to kind of set it up for the person you're getting it for before they receive it on Christmas morning so they can run straight in and get on with it, you can just hold the power button, that'll turn the Oculus Go on. On your mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a phone, you do need a mobile app just to set the Oculus Go up initially. After then, you technically don't need the app. The app is useful. I definitely suggest keep using it, but if you want to kind of disregard the app after, you can do. You either need a Facebook account, which I'd probably do that if it was somebody's headset themselves. So if you're giving it to your partner or a friend or whatever, let them maybe set this up and they can log into their Facebook account. It's quite good because it adds a lot of features. There's some apps that work really well with Facebook, as Oculus are kind of connected to Facebook, so it does have some nice integration. So for an Oculus account, you just click register and then you can sign up with an email address. So you can either set them up an email address, use their email address, whatever you want to do. It kind of depends on who it is and what you're setting up for, but for setting up for your kids and that, you can enter your own details. I'd probably suggest using the Oculus account if you're setting it up for kids and for your teenagers maybe. And then you can kind of set an account on there. Once you're in, and then boots up into the app, and then you can sync it up with your Oculus Go. I'll switch to my phone because my phone has it already set up, and I'll show you that. So here's the Oculus app on your phone. Once you're logged in, you'll see this. If you go to settings, you can see your device, and you can just click on it and connect to it. We'll connect to that one. I've got two headsets nearby, so it's asking me to connect. Which one do I want to connect to? Once you're connecting, you get a few options. You can set the Wi-Fi. You do that as part of the sort of setup process anyway. You set up the Wi-Fi, go through it all, set it all up. Useful things to know on here is you can set your payment methods. So here you can kind of set your payment method. So you can use PayPal, you can use credit cards, that sort of thing. And you can set a PIN. A PIN is also useful if you're giving it for a kid. So if you wanted to kind of restrict what they can download free stuff with no restrictions. But if you want to kind of restrict them from buying things, you can set a 4-digit PIN so they don't sort of buy all sorts of stuff. What you then can do is, if you've got the app, is go in, buy games and apps, and be able to kind of purchase them via the app and install them remotely onto their headset. And it'll unlock on their headset as well, so they can go in and download it themselves if they want to. So you can have full control over it without even bothering with the headset yourself, which is handy. So you can see you've got your reset Oculus PIN there. You can set your PIN code, and then that'll stop anybody from purchasing anything they shouldn't do. You've got some privacy settings. You can kind of enable camera roll access. That's quite good if it's your Oculus Go. If it's somebody else's, you want to let them do that themselves because it'll connect to their phone. But then on your Oculus Go, you can view any photos, anything on your phone, on your Oculus Go from your phone. But it's worth kind of checking out the sort of different options on the app. As I say, you can sort of see your library, so you can see all the different apps that you've got available to install or that you've purchased. They have a friends list, so you can sort of see that there. There's a bunch of me friends. You can click on events. Events is quite nice. It's it kind of shows you kind of events that are going on in the Oculus world, and that you can kind of get joined up in and play on certain games or watch a certain video or join an event on a social app and that sort of thing. They're all kind of there. And so this is yours or somebody else's. Make sure they kind of check that out because it's worth checking out. And then the store is the obvious one where you can go in and you can purchase stuff. They have a deal of the day every day, which is usually about half price at least. So you can sort of see BT where I already own that one. And they have packs and all that sort of stuff to get. What I would say, let's quickly have a look at some of the top offers. So let's have a look. So top selling ones. So these are the ones that are paid. So you can see at the moment you've got the top ones here. So I would say these are all pretty good and actually kind of recommend it. So virtual desktop allows you to share your PC to your Oculus Go itself. And it's a new app that's come out, so it's worth checking that out if they're sort of technically minded. Go for that one. But virtual reality, absolutely brilliant game, one that we should be looking for. End Space, brilliant space shooter. Nature's Trek, or Nature Treks even. That's kind of like 360 environments to chill out in. Worth checking out. Drop Dead is a zombie shooter. Worth getting if you like something. Eclipse, Edge of Light is worth getting. See, I bought all these because they're all worth it. But these are slightly more expensive apps. I think some of them run for $10 in price. Ones is worth getting. B-Team's worth getting. The Limit is a fun sort of 15-20 minute video. We've also got Coast Combat's a fun one, that's not too expensive. Narrows is good, Thumper's good, Ultra Wings is good. What I would suggest is you or somebody else has looked back over my videos because I've covered pretty much all of these apps in some way or another. And as you can see, you can scroll on forever for all these top ones. So, but it's worth kind of checking out the top few, top options, and maybe pick up a few sort of the key ones at the top there. I think if you were to buy 3 apps for a beginner, virtual reality is a good one. Drop Dead, and what would be a good third one? Coastal Combat, yeah, that'd be a good three sort of starter one for starters. Top 3 apps, you can click on there. There you've got things like YouTube, no brainer, download that one. Netflix, if you've got a Netflix account, get that one. Epic Roller Coaster, that's the one where everybody likes roller coasters. That's probably a good one to get to be able to share those on Christmas Day. The Crow's a nice, good free one, nice quality video. That's the Jurassic World Blue one's a nice quality video. Dead and Buried, that's a nice little shooter one as well. Bait's an excellent little fun game, definitely worth getting. Face Your Fears is definitely sort of that kind of standout app where it's just, you don't need a controller or anything, but you can scare each other, see people's reactions to scary environments. There are in-app purchases in that one to unlock new experiences, but it's definitely one worth getting. And then there's a bunch, you can keep going. A lot of the free ones, it's kind of like, why not? Just download it, give it a go. You might as well, they're all free. But download probably, if you're going to download 3, download YouTube, Dead and Buried, and Bait. Oh, and Face Your Fears. Yeah, at least get those 4. And then if you want some more, go for it. So there we go. Hopefully a lot of that information helps you make a decision on whether this is a good gift for somebody over Christmas. I personally recommend it, but my channel is a little bit biased because, you know, that's pretty much what all I cover is the Oculus Go. And obviously the more people that buy it, the better. But it genuinely is a fun, interesting device. It's definitely the must-have present this year. I would definitely say for anybody, you know, teenagers and above. They don't sort of recommend it for small kids. I've got a 7 and 10-year-old. I probably don't let them use VR for more than maybe sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time, maybe once every few days. Some people seem to worry that it's going to affect their eyes and that sort of thing, their development. But I think if you kind of only use it at certain times for a limited amount of sessions, it's fine. There's no sort of big issues. But for your sort of teenagers and above, this is kind of definitely a must-have device for Christmas, if not the must-have device for Christmas. If you can afford £200, $200, definitely worth getting. It's a fun device. You can get a lot of use, a lot of fun out of it. Now for the money, it's probably the best VR experience you can get. You can obviously spend more and get more, but that's kind of the same for everything. You could say this is a motorbike and the Rift is a car. Now they're obviously good in their own right, doing slightly different things, but very similar things, getting you from A to B. But they're different experiences, and this is a great sort of way in before you upgrade to a full-on car. Take a motorbike for a spin, get some fun out of it, let your hair down inside a helmet and just have some fun. And that's what the Oculus Go is about, having fun. It's so easy just to kind of pass around and share with different people. It's going to be such a big hit at Christmas with families. It's definitely kind of worth sort of checking, considering. And, you know, let me know in the comments down below if you've got any questions. I'll be in the comments. I'll answer every single question that gets posted down there about the Oculus Go. So don't be worried. Don't think you're asking a stupid question. I will answer anything. If you want some quicker answers, you can join my Discord at discord.remarkus.com, which if you didn't know what that is, that's a chat program that you can get on your phone or your PC, and I'm on there all the time to be chatting away to people, and we can have probably a bit better conversation in there. What I haven't done is shown you what the games and apps look like playing them inside the headset, that sort of thing. But what I will do for that, because we could be going for hours and hours and hours doing that sort of thing, what I will do is down below I'll leave links to some playlists that I'll put together which kind of pull out some of my key videos and key informational videos, so you can kind of watch them, look through, and if you've got the time, point people towards it. You know, something that maybe you buy it for them, point them towards my playlist so they kind of know what they're kind of expecting and what they can do with it, because there is a lot of scope for this and a lot of fun to be had. Do let me know in the comments down below as well if you do intend to get one for a gift for somebody for Christmas. I'll be super interested to know how it goes and what sort of person you're buying it for. I really do hope you have an amazing Christmas and you do get a lot of use out of it and do enjoy it. I think for the money, it's the perfect gift. It is so much fun to use and so much fun to play with. You genuinely do feel like you're in a different place when you're watching some of these games and apps, and it's, you know, it's a great experience. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you didn't find it useful, that's fine, but do let me know in the comments down below why you didn't like it. I'll try to do better for next time. Become one of the Remarkables, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I next upload a video, because I'll be uploading loads more Oculus Go videos. That's me done. I'm out. Have a virtual high five.